And when a business owner or a business decision maker or CEO or COO or someone is thinking about how to meet this digital transformation thing that's happening in every single workplace, and they're
Yeah.
thinking about the skills gap, like why should they consider this? What's the biggest, have you observed something like this is why people aren't adopting this faster? Is it because they don't know about it, or is it they don't
Mm,
understand it? Is it
I think they just see how much money is flying out the door. I think it's like I'm really bad with numbers, but I think it's like 80% of what you learn, and I'm in the range. If you don't use it within 2 weeks of that training, it's lost. 80% of it. So why the hell am I going to send you to a conference and then maybe 6 months later you might use that thing, or you're going to go learn Word, whatever? Like, it's crazy. So they're starting to realize that, and here's, like, I did this crazy, I'm also very experimental with the way I figure out. And one thing I believe in is that, like, okay, what's the real world example that I can pull from? That, because technology is so new, I can't look to another website to say, oh, how did they do it and how did they do it well? There's nothing out there for me to compare to, but I could compare to Lego. Lego has the best manuals and guides probably in the world, with some problems. So I ran a bunch of experiments, and I had a bunch of people come through and build Lego, and I watched how they used the guide and how they did this and gained. So it's another way to, how can I take, if I can't get into device, how can I bring it out of the device and into the real world, and what's that real world comparison? But even then, it's like I watched someone go through this build of a dinosaur with Lego a couple times using the manual, and I asked them the question. I was like, hey, what do you think? How many more times would you have to do this to learn? And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, I'm not learning this. I'm just reading the manual. I'm like, oh shit, right? We're in trouble because we've been creating this step-by-step guide saying we're training people when we're not. We're supporting them to learn this thing, but we have to give them room to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. Like, there's all these things that are important in learning. But if you're doing it in 3D and manipulating it and interacting with it, that amount of understanding with the data and research Microsoft has goes up exponentially. So I know you would retain what I teach you in 3D better and retain it longer than if I just put you in a class for a couple days. And that's what I would tell any business decision maker. This is what's going to make your employees retain the information, and you're not going to be just throwing money out the door.